She was his first and last love. Park Seo Joon finally marries Park Min-young at 36. But why now? And what took them so long? Was it fate, timing, or a love too deep to fade? For years, fans whispered, hoped, and imagined. Now, at 36, Park Seo Joon has finally taken the vow, with the woman who once stood beside him only on screen. Their romance has crossed from fiction into breathtaking reality, and the world can't stop talking. Join us now on Red Carpet Revealed as we uncover the hidden moments, untold emotions, and everything that led to this unforgettable wedding. These were the first whispers that stirred again, quietly yet unmistakably, at a small private gathering in Seoul a year ago. That fleeting gaze, full of history, hesitation, and unspoken promise, reminded everyone of something they had all tried to forget. The chemistry between Park Seo Joon and Park Min-young was never just acting. Fast forward to today, a day that will go down in K-drama history, when fans woke up to the most surreal headline. Seo Joon and Park Min-young are now husband and wife. Yes, it's real. No, it's not a drama promotion. It's not a PR stunt. It's the end of a very long chapter and the beginning of an even more extraordinary one. But how did we get here? How did two of South Korea's most beloved stars, who once ignited the screen in What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, go from co-stars, to rumored ex-lovers, to finally walking down the aisle after years of silence? Let's rewind. The flame that never went out. Back in 2018, the air crackled with electricity every time Park Seo Joon and Park Min-young appeared on screen together. Their drama wasn't just successful, it was a cultural event. Viewers obsessed over every touch, every glance, and every unscripted moment between the two. When the drama ended, the questions started. Are they dating in real life? Why do they look at each other like that off camera? Is this just fan service, or something more? For a while, both actors denied everything. No, they weren't in a relationship. Yes, they were just colleagues. But something about the way they didn't deny, the lingering pause in interviews, the shy smiles, the palpable tension, only fueled more speculation. Park Min-young, ever the poised professional, remained graceful but firm in her refusals. Seo Joon, always calm, gave vague answers like, "She's a great person" or "We had amazing chemistry." Behind the scenes, though, insiders whispered a different story. The break that broke them both, according to multiple anonymous sources, including one stylist who worked closely with the duo. Park Seo Joon and Park Min-young did try to date quietly after their drama wrapped. But fame, schedules, and pressure mounted quickly. Paparazzi swarmed. Articles speculated wildly. Agencies panicked. They loved each other, the stylist revealed. They were scared. They didn't want to destroy each other's careers. After only a few months, they quietly walked away. No official statement. No dramatic breakup. Just silence. And that silence lasted for years. Fans moved on. So did the industry. Park Seo Joon filmed blockbuster dramas, grew into an action star, and gained global fame with his Hollywood debut. Park Min-young stayed her elegant course, becoming one of Korea's most sought-after actresses. But the memory of them never really faded. Silent glances that spoke volumes. Every now and then, fans would catch small signs. Seo Joon mentioning a certain actress who taught him what real partnership meant. Park Min-young casually saying she never forgot her favorite drama experience. They never named each other, but fans connected the dots. Then came the wedding of a mutual friend in 2023, the moment that changed everything. Park Seo Joon and Park Min-young, seated just 3 chairs apart, reportedly didn't speak much at first. But as the night wore on, laughter returned. So did the comfort. And that look came back. One wedding guest captured a blurry photo of the two smiling under fairy lights, her hand lightly brushing his arm. Internet exploded. Was this just nostalgia? Or something more? One knew then that this was the first step toward their own wedding. Reconnection in the quiet moments. In early 2024, Park Seo Joon took a brief break from filming overseas. He returned to Seoul quietly, telling reporters it was for family reasons. But a few sharp-eyed fans spotted him at a cafe known for being Park Min-young's favorite. Shortly after, Min-young posted a picture of a sunset, The same sunset Park Seo Joon had posted hours earlier from a slightly different angle. No captions. No tags. Fans didn't need them. Those who were paying attention knew something was happening. And for once, the media didn't chase them. Perhaps they had learned their lesson. Perhaps the two stars had simply become better at hiding. But during the second half of 2024, the two rekindled something they thought they had lost: peace with each other, and love without performance. The proposal that was never meant to be public. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't staged. According to an insider close to Park Seo Joon, the proposal happened in the most unexpected way. During a rainy evening at Han River, in a car, with no one around, he just looked at her and said, "Don't want to waste another year not being yours," the insider revealed. And she cried. That was her answer. There was no ring at the time, no photographer, no fireworks, just them. Maybe, after everything, that's all they ever needed. Turning the wedding of silence and meaning. When the decision was made to marry, it wasn't about glamour or spectacle. It was about reclaiming the years they had lost and finally living a truth they had both hidden. Only 50 guests were invited. No media, no press release until the day after. The venue, a private villa tucked away in Jeju Island, surrounded by tall trees, lanterns, and people who had seen them at their worst, and still loved them. The bride wore ivory. No designer name dropped. The groom wore a charcoal suit with a simple white boutonniere, said to be picked by Park Min-young herself the morning of the ceremony. They walked down the aisle holding hands. Not just smiling, but glowing. What Park Seo Joon whispered at the altar. One guest, a director who had worked with both of them, revealed a heart-stopping moment at the altar. As he held her hands, he leaned in and said, "You were always the beginning and the end." And she broke down crying. We all did. There were no fancy vows, no dramatic speeches. Just a love story that took 7 years, a dozen near misses, and one brave decision to come full circle. The news spread like wildfire. Media outlets scrambled to confirm what fans had already accepted as truth. Rumors that once felt like fragile daydreams now had a wedding certificate behind them. For the first time, co-stars who had played lovers on screen had chosen to carry that love into the real world. And not just for show. Top actors, producers, drama writers flooded the couple's private lines with messages. A director who had worked with both actors said anonymously, "We all knew. The way he looked at her on set. It wasn't acting. They were just scared." This was never about publicity. This was about healing. Another source revealed something even more emotional. That Park Min-young had turned down 3 high-paying roles in 2024 without explanation. She said she needed time. Source shared. Now we understand why. Even their agencies, usually cautious and calculating, issued a rare joint statement filled not with marketing spin, but sincerity. "We are honored to support this new chapter in the lives of 2 beloved artists. They ask for your understanding as they begin their journey in privacy and peace." Friends speak out, and the stories start flowing. Perhaps the most moving reactions came not from fans, from people who had stood beside them during the years of silence. A close friend of Park Seo Joon, fellow actor, posted, "He waited for her. Through success, doubt, he waited. And when she was ready, he was still there. That's love." Another mutual friend of Park Min-young recalled how she once broke down in her dressing room after filming a particularly emotional scene. She whispered, "I wish I could just live that kind of love in real life." That scene was with Park Seo Joon. It turns out, she wasn't just acting, she was remembering Park Min-young's journey, solitude, strength, and surrender. While much attention falls on Park Seo Joon's declaration of love, Park Min-young's emotional arc tells an equally powerful story. She spent years being strong, being independent, carrying herself with dignity through both professional triumphs and personal loss. In an older interview that resurfaced after the wedding, she had said quietly, "Sometimes, I think I'm good at pretending to be okay. Pretending isn't the same as living." Those close to her know how deeply she feared being judged, how much she valued protecting her peace over chasing love. Perhaps that's why it took her longer to say yes. Not because she didn't love him, but because she loved herself enough to wait until it was real, until it was safe. Now, Watching her walk down the aisle with Park Seo Joon, one friend said, she wasn't just marrying him. She was choosing herself, too, the version of her that finally believed she deserved lasting love. Why they kept it secret until the end? He wondered, why so much secrecy? Why keep something so beautiful hidden? The answer was heartbreakingly simple. They had been burned before. Media leaks, malicious gossip, keyboard warriors dissecting every glance. It had taken a toll. Their earlier relationship, fragile and young, survived that kind of spotlight. This time, they didn't need approval. They needed peace. They made a promise not to share anything with the public until it was real. Ring on finger, vows said, no turning back. Stylist who worked on the wedding. It was their way of protecting something sacred. And maybe, in a world where love stories are too often treated like headlines, that silence was the most tragical form of romance. A wedding full of symbols and silent gestures. The ceremony itself was minimalist, but every detail carried meaning. The song Park Seo Joon walked into? A live acoustic version of Because I Love You, the theme song from their drama. The flower minutes Young held? A single freesia, the flower of lasting friendship and trust. The rings? Custom made. Inside hers, my first. Inside his, my last. Even the guest list was a reflection of their journey. Only people who had seen them fall and rise again. No agents. No media. Just family, lifelong friends, and one small dog sitting beside Minutes Young's mother. When the officiant asked them to share a few words, Seo Joon simply said, she waited for me to grow. Waited for her to heal. We meet now, not as perfect people, but as people ready to walk imperfectly, together. After the wedding, their first day as husband and wife, they didn't jet off to Paris or fly to an exotic honeymoon. Instead, they stayed in Jeju for a few quiet days, walking on the beach, drinking coffee, feeding stray cats, and finally enjoying the kind of everyday moments they had never been allowed to share before. Locals say they saw the couple laughing in the early morning. Head on his shoulder, no makeup, no entourage. Just looked like two people deeply in love. Nothing fancy, but very real, one witness said. What's next for Korea's real-life dream couple? Professionally, both actors plan to return to work, but more on their terms. Park Seo Joon reportedly turned down a major international action project to prioritize his personal life. Park Min-young is said to be considering a quieter drama, one filmed entirely in Korea, where she can stay close to home. There are no talks of a wedding special or interviews. No reality shows or monetized couple content. They don't want to sell this, said a person close to them. They just want to live it. But rumors are already swirling that the two may appear together again on screen in the future. This time not as characters in love, but as real-life partners. Their message to fans, thank you for waiting. Few days after the wedding, Park Seo Joon and Park Min-young released a short handwritten message to fans, to those who cheered, even when we were silent. To those who believed, even when there was no proof. Thank you for waiting. This love is ours. But we hope it brings you comfort, too. Seo Joon and Min-young. That message was shared over 1 million times in under 24 hours. And not because it was glamorous, but because it felt like the kind of love so many still dare to hope